Hi everybody, today I'm gonna talk about oxalates. So some of you maybe have heard about oxalates, but for those who don't know what's that, I will explain what are oxalates, where we can find them, what they do to our body, and how we can eliminate them. So what are oxalates? Oxalates are nanocrystals which are in the plants, and when they see them under microscope, they look like crystals with sharp edges, like toothpicks and like diamonds, and they're actually like chemicals which plants defend themselves. So plants has to be naturally toxic in order to survive. So these nanocrystals were not visible for our technology for many years. Until recently, the last 15 years, they were able to see these nanocrystals. But before, there had to be like 8 pairs of nanocrystals to form a molecule which was visible for the technology. And usually we know them as kidney stones. So what does these oxalates do in our body? So they are actually negatively charged two carbons, which are searching for positively charged minerals, which we have, which are calcium, magnesium, and potassium. And they stick together, they grab these minerals, plus and minus, and they stick in our body and cause damage. They do that in the glands, everywhere, in the thyroid, in the breasts, in the bones, in the joints, in the kidneys, and also in the cardiovascular system. And if we have a leaky gut, this absorption increases. So this Dr. Sally Norton, she's a nutritional therapist for so many years and scientist, and she's working especially on oxalates because for many years she was growing her garden and growing Swiss charts and eating vegetarian food. She was vegetarian so many years and vegan for 8 years. And she couldn't connect the dots. She had joint pain. She couldn't walk on the stairs. She had pain when walking like more than half an hour at home for her feet. And she thought she was eating healthy. And she was going on a yoga, she was doing exercise, and she was doing everything healthy. It took her so many years to find out what was the cause. And now she starts appreciating the benefits of the meat and starts eating meat products and eggs and dairy. These oxalates are interfering with the repairing process during the night when we sleep. So instead of cleaning the body during the sleep, the oxalates get stuck in these cells and they cause damage because these damaged cells that we all have, they cannot defend themselves and then they kill them. So this process is taking whole night, let's say 6 hours after we eat. Then the process of absorption of the oxalates happens. And these oxalates are depolarizing the cell, the membrane of the mitochondria. And so the mitochondria cannot function properly and cannot produce energy, the ATP. We know that mitochondria produces energy. And if there are more oxalates, then they kill the mitochondria and the cell. So oxalates are toxic, same as asbestos. But we don't eat asbestos and call it a healthy food, right? So oxalates also damages the endothelial cells, which are everywhere. These are the mucous protective cells in the gut. And then they can travel directly to the cardiovascular system, through the blood, and causing micro damage, grabbing the minerals directly from the blood and causing arrhythmia of the heart and irregular beats, heartbeats. So that's why the people who are on keto diet, and after the keto, they have heartbeats of 130 or 150 increase because they're doing these almonds, has a high in lactose, almond milk, and also green smoothies with spinach, with kale. And they are losing potassium, which the oxalates binds. And potassium is very important for the heart. We all know that. And they have to add in their diet more minerals like potassium, calcium, and magnesium. in order to prevent this. And chronic hiccups are actually a cause and a sign that you have oxalates toxicity, which I just learned. I didn't know that. As a kid, I used to have a chronic hiccups, they told me, and probably it was because of almonds. I loved almonds too much and I was consuming too much of almonds. So how can we clean our body from these oxalates? So stopping and removing it immediately, it might be dangerous. So it has to be slowly, because these oxalates were building for many years. So now we want them to start slowly. So stop one kind of food, let's say one that you are eating the most, which has the most oxalates, like say Swiss chard. So then you start quitting with another one, and so on. And start avoiding these foods who has most oxalates, like spinach, almonds, beets. I mean, not the beetroot, but the green leaves. Okra, French fries, potatoes. So I didn't know potato, it's high in oxalate. And also cacao. I was actually drinking cacao for 2 years, just instead of coffee. And I had like kidney stones. I just actually expelled one kidney stone 2 weeks ago, and I had urinary infection. But I went on an ultrasound. I don't have any stone, any sand anymore, because I was drinking herbal teas. So I think I clean it. And the low on oxalates are these foods. I mean, all meat products like egg, dairy, meat, and apples, grapes, mango, herbal teas, but not the black and green tea. They are high in oxalates. So just normal herbal teas from herbs. Then pistachio, cashew, pecans, rice, white rice, it's low, peanuts. Well, peanuts and black tea, I think they're high. So you can do some Google research and just see which food actually is causing you to have oxalates. So if you have some condition which is not completely healed, like you still have itches and pain somewhere, or you still have kidney stones. I mean, I know everybody has. I mean, my brother had a surgery recently for kidney stones. I know my friend died from kidney stones just a few years ago. It was stuck in his channel, and it was complicated surgery, and he passed away. Okay, so we have to be careful and just avoid these foods. And the last tip, and the most important, is how to avoid these foods to enter our cardiovascular system and stop it during the digestion. So what we can do, let's say for the spinach or for the greens, we can at first just prevent it, take it out from the green food. Like we can boil it for 1 minute, because oxalates are water soluble, and when you boil it, it will stay in the water, and then you drain the veggies, the spinach, the Swiss chard, or whatever you want to eat, and then drain it and use it later on, which will be without oxalates, or maybe very low amount. And the second thing, my mother used to do that every time, so, and my grandmother. And the second thing is, if you consume oxalates that day in the smoothie or something, just add calcium in the same time. So these oxalates will bind with calcium during the digestion in the digestive system, and you will expel them. So they will not enter the the blood, where it will cause damage. So this is enormous and very important information. So we don't want oxalates in the body to bind to take out the calcium from the bones and minerals and magnesium and potassium, and cause stones in the kidney, in the gallbladder, in the thyroid, or in the breast, or just if you have stiff joints, that means maybe you have a calcification going on from the oxalates. So just use this very important tip, and you see how it will feel later on. And also you can, let's say, add potassium or magnesium or calcium just before going to bed. Because as we said, during sleep, the oxalates absorbed. And by adding this, we can reduce the toxic load and they can bind and we can expel them. But be careful, if you use calcium, just don't buy calcium with, together with vitamin D. Because we know vitamin D, it's like impulse, like ordering the cells to absorb the calcium. So we don't want to absorb the calcium. We want calcium to bind with the oxalates and to expel from the body. And also another tip, we can, the citric acid from the lemon, it's very useful to expel the oxalates. It's cleaning the body from the oxalates, but be careful. Don't buy this product which has citric acid, which is the acid from the lemon, but this in the product, that's not from the lemon. Actually, they're making this citric acid from the molasses and sugars, and they're using a mold called aspergillosis, which is very toxic and full with oxalates. So drink more lemon juice from fresh lemon and take potassium, calcium or magnesium regularly, maybe 2 times per day in the morning or in the evening. And just stay away from the high oxalate food. Just enjoy the low oxalate food, like herbal tea, and avoid cacao, and also coffee. I mean, coffee, just now the doctor said that it's low on oxalate, which is very good news. So we can enjoy coffee also. Okay, that was for today, and bye bye for now. See you in my next video. I hope you learned a lot, and you can like my page, you can share this video with your friends, because it's very important, this news for everybody. And see you in my next video. Bye bye.